Yeah, here we go for the 100th time. Hand grenade pins in every line. Throw them up and let something shine. Going out of my fucking mind. Filthy mouth, no excuse. Find a new place to hang this noose. String me up from atop these roofs. Knotted tight so I won't get loose. Truth is you can stop and stare. Run myself out and no one cares. Dug the trench out, lay down there with a shovel up out of reach somewhere. Yeah, someone pour it in. Make it a dirt dance floor again. Say your prayers and stop it out when they bring that chorus in. I bleed it out, digging deeper just to throw it away. I bleed it out, digging deeper just to throw it away. I bleed it out, digging deeper just to throw it away.
This is what happens when you do intros during the middle of the day. Things get crazy. Well, welcome back to the big boy. Not expecting a huge audience today because it is 12:30, 12:40, something like that on a Friday. So I imagine that most of you are actually doing what you should be doing, and that's working, right? So that hopefully is okay. You can catch up with this at some point in the future, or perhaps you're tuning in from Europe, in which case it's already early Friday evening and you're hopefully got a glass of wine and relaxing, and we can get caught up. So I do have a couple of things to sort of show and tell. I've got a couple of new games in. We can talk about those. I've got a giveaway for the gang. Probably 2 games we'll do, and no big drama about signing up and subscribing and all that sort of fun stuff. We'll just do the giveaway and do a draw and make it happen. I'm not trying to get you guys to sign up for anything or anything like that. Let me just open up the comments because I see folks are joining in. Hey, Jeff, good to see you, my friend. So we're going to do that. But I thought I'd try and catch up on gameplay first, and then have a look at these 2, well, actually 1 new game that I have that I've read the rules for, and I'm actually going to sort of shuffle some things around today and get started on hopefully this evening. So that'll be fun. We'll talk about that in a second. But I thought I'd try and catch up because I wrote a post the other day about the summer and all of the fun bits and pieces that I got up to. Played 7 new games and played about 12 titles altogether. Some obviously repeats, like some World of War and Lock and Load and things that I've played before, so they didn't really count, right? And good morning, Craig. Good to see you. So Craig must be dialing in from somewhere west of me. But I do have the just a little post-it note here of stuff that I want to touch on. And so I mentioned I've played several games, and you can go look at the blog post on that. I need my post-it note. It won't stick to the screen. Son of a gun. So don't want to spend too much time on that, but I do want to go over what I hope to play for the balance of the year. Probably not at as high a cadence as I got over the summer, but I'm hoping that we can still crank through some good stuff. So literally today, I still have on my table, I got through 1 play of the very short Vietnam scenario from GMT, Nick Karp's version of the game, and so a version of his Vietnam game. And so I want to play that a couple more times to kind of solidify the mechanics of clearing and search and destroy and all that sort of fun stuff, the sort of the operational side of things. Probably not planning on playing the campaign anytime in the near future, but we might try and play some more 1-mapper scenarios once I get a little bit more comfortable with the system. So that's kind of cool and new. And to complement that, I've got Adam Starkweather's Vietnam game. I'm hesitant to jump into it, but I will probably do it because sometimes you just got to be a sucker for punishment. But I've also heard some good things in that the system's being cleaned up, and that's the DSS system, I think it is. So divisional scale system or something like that. And so we're going to check that out. It's much more abstract than Nick's GMT's version of Vietnam, the reprint of Victor Games title, if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about. And welcome to those folks who just joined us. We've got 10 or 11 folks dialing in here. So please say hi, just so I can know that we've got faces and names, and it's not some freaking AI robot about to mute me. So that'd be cool if you would do that. I'm going to play Combat Veteran, which is a Modern War magazine title, and that's one of the games we're going to sort of unwrap here in a second, have a look at and just talk about the mechanics and the rules, because I've had a good read of the rules. Super straightforward game, a little wider than I thought it would be, but hey, that's okay. We can deal with that. So there'll be that, and I think that's going to come up real quick. I will probably try and get to that this weekend if I can. I had recently, if you saw any pictures on social media, I posted some photographs of the Decision games. It seems like I'm going through a punish myself phase at the moment with my games, because I'm coming back to titles that I have either not enjoyed or put away in frustration or was disappointed with, or whatever the case may be, and I'm trying to give them a second shot. And so Wellington's Victory from Decision Games is one such game. Hello, Nathan, and Cataclysm Now is here. Hey, buddy, how you doing? And Simo, good to see you. Looks like you're dialing in from Europe there. Let's see. So I want to give that give a small scenario there a run. I think it's the La Haye Saint scenario or equivalent thereof. I think there's a smaller module there that you can play that I had set up previously, but got frustrated with the leader counters, and now I've got that kind of all sorted out. So I'm going to put my big boy pants on and try that again. I'm kind of keen to give that a shot. Apparently, UPS is shipping my copy of Caesar Great Battles of History to me. I'm very excited to finally get that in the mail and hopefully have it here very soon, which will be the second game that we'll be doing a giveaway for, because in that box, there will be the expansion of Stalingrad 42. And I inadvertently ordered 2 for some reason. I don't know why. But I ordered 2, and I'm going to give 1 copy away of that as well. So we'll be doing a giveaway of Stalingrad 42. I guess I was supposed to save that to the end to make you watch the whole video, but whatever. And I've got a copy of YA magazine number 15, the December 2021 edition, that's got the very interesting. Might be a little bit of a challenge to play solo. The Nagoro, I can't pronounce it correctly. Hang on. The Nagorno-Karabakh War game in it, which has honking big 1-inch counters. I've got a full shrink grip unpunched version here. It's card driven. It's built on the Vietnam 65 system that Mark Walker designed at an operational scale. So we're going to give that away as well, and we'll talk about what the conditions are to participate in a second. So what was I saying? Stalingrad 42. So Caesar. So I'm going to play. I'm getting the game. I got to play 1 scenario out of that just to wet my whistle with that, because I've always loved the Caesar module, but I've always despised the nastiness of the counters that were all kind of came warped in the box, and they were thin and nasty and not fun to play with, and all the counters from my original edition, all the corners all peeled up on them as well. So I really had bad luck with that module. I played a whole bunch of scenarios way back in the day. I did a series of battles, Caesar versus Pompey, and that was super, super good fun. I took all the battles in chronological order and sort of kept modest track of losses and whatnot, and then wrote up bits and pieces for it. Unfortunately, you can read about it on my blog. Most of the images for that was my early days of trying to be a blogger, and I really screwed up image repositories and stuff like that. So I was linking to things that had temporary links. So most of the images are gone off the games. I have the images still. I just haven't got around to reposting it all because it was like 7 years ago or something. So I wouldn't go look at it if I were you. Anyway, it just mentioned that I have played a whole bunch of that system, so it's pretty cool. And so, there's some really good stuff coming, I hope, from gameplay perspective. And then I've pulled out last 100 yards a couple of times to play another scenario, and kind of got sidetracked by new titles coming in that have been donated or given to the channel, and so I got this obligation to sort of get after them and play them, and or at least do a shrink rip or something. And so I've had to keep putting that to one side, and so I'm hoping to get that played before the end of the year, ideally before Halloween hits. I'd like to get that done. I do have a new game in that I haven't done a shrink rip on, or any real coverage other than a few photographs. That's a 2 minutes to midnight game, which is kind of like a grown-up version of Twilight Struggle. So it's got multiple layers. There's technology layers and economy layers, and it's a card-driven game, and basically it's sort of a resource management game. But I'm hoping to play that with somebody on the tabletop simulator. Another chap by the name of Kevin, actually. He and I are going to play at some point in the near future. It's in my court to organize that gameplay with him. Not doing very well with online gameplay with people at the moment. I have two other folks from Europe, actually. If you bark, dog, I will punch you. Go on, get. Let's see. 2 games. So I have 2 European friends who I'm supposed to be playing 2 titles with that I owe them turns, and I've now mentioned this 3 times, I think, in the last 3 weeks. So sincere apologies for not being that guy. Hey there, X Fund X something, and John, good to see you. Okay, so there's that. That's what's going on now. In amongst all that, September 7 through 11. I am running to Annapolis. I'm going to the Naval Academy to visit a nephew who was a senior there. And we're going to go see Davy Jones' Crypt and have lunch on campus, and do the official tour and do the sort of the parents tour. I'll be with his parents. So we'll do that. And while we're there, I'm going to take ideally 2.5 days I want to go to Washington Mall. I haven't been to Washington Mall since I was in my teens, when I visited the United States as an exchange student. So I want to get back there. I want to go see the Lincoln Memorial and a few other bits and pieces, and probably hit one of the Smithsonian museums. Not planning on spending a lot of time in DC, not one of my favorite places, just from a business perspective. I've spent a lot of time there, but not a lot of fun sort of tourist time. So I want to hit that real quick, but then we're going to get out to Antietam and Montecito and see those 2 battlefields. And I'm actually going to stay out in Hagerstown for 2 nights, and we'll take some pictures and do some video. And if there's good reception, I'll do some live streaming from the 2 battlefields and try and give you my version of what went on, which could be hilariously bad. I do have a couple of cool. So I've got the Military Academy Atlas, so we can look at that while we walk around. And I've got another book that has a bunch of maps and stuff. So we'll try and use that as references. So stay tuned for that sort of stuff. It'll be fairly impromptu because I'll be with my wife, and we'll, she ain't gonna carry the camera around or film me. So it'll be me holding the camera on a selfie stick, which is incredibly lame. So we'll try and do that. So that'll be fun. And then October, there's the Advanced After Combat podcast has their own little sort of private con thing. So I'm going to go to that and hit that, and I will be playing Vietnam there, and I'll be playing one of the new battles from Ralph Shelton's Men of Iron series, I believe. And something else I was going to play as well. Maybe a magazine game with Mitch Land. He had a Vietnam era. Not a magazine game. It's one of Brian Train's Vietnam games that he did. I want to say not Civil Bayonets. maybe it's Green Berets or Bin Din Fa or something like that. I don't know. It's one of those. Anyway, so I'll be doing that. I'm also trying to work out if I can get a serious OCS session in with some of the guys there, because I know there's some monster gamers there that might be fun if we can get 2 or 3 or 4 turns done or something. Nothing too huge, but maybe a 3 or 4 map, that'd be awesome fun, right? So that's what's going on. Now I had an interesting chat also today. So from a gameplay potential, that's my list, right? Subject to change and subject to people throwing new stuff at me. Speaking of which, there will be Valor of the 13th. I'm going to be receiving a pre-production copy of that from Lock and Load Tactical in the next week or so, or 2 weeks. Once that hits, we'll set that up, play a scenario, check out the components, check out the maps, see what the quality's like, give it a good run. That all seems to be, that production seems to be going really well. I heard that their Point Break, I think it's called, or Point Blank, is going to start shipping next week. That was pretty cool. But David told me so much stuff of what he's doing, what they're planning to be doing over the next 12 months. I probably should have taken notes, but the 2 things I did manage to take away that I think I can remember correctly is the next Kickstarter for them will be the Napoleonic Empires series game that's set. It's Vimiro is the first battle that they're doing for that system. So I'm super excited about that. You can check out the YouTube channel and find my interview of Terry about that system before it was actually even picked up by Lock and Load. I met him up in Seattle, and we had a about 45-minute chat. So there's an recorded interview somewhere on my YouTube channel that you can check out, or maybe it's on the blog, one of the 2 things. One of those designer deep dives. So check that out, because that I've seen some pre-production imagery. You can go find all that stuff yourself on the Glorian Empires. I think it's Glorian Empires is the name of the system. And if I'm not, I'm sorry if I got it wrong, but just go look on the Lock and Load publishing page. Looks amazing. And if it takes the high quality graphical presentation that Lock and Load is known for and brings in that sort of detailed gameplay from the Labatai style systems, which is, it's sort of, I won't say it's derivative of Labatai, but it's a fresh look at Labatai, given that Terry came from that background. So that's coming next. And so that means that could potentially be out, all things being equal, early next year, potentially. So we're excited about that. Then Scuttlebutt is from David. Now, this is what David said, and it was, you can share the information, but don't hold him to it, that the World at War naval game is very close to being ready to put on Kickstarter as well. And it won't be Kickstarter, it'll be GameFound. But and there was a reason for them moving off of Kickstarter, I found out. But that World at War game also looks super interesting. And there are some other naval games coming, old Pacific titles that previously rights were owned by somebody else that are now being acquired by Lock and Load. And I'm not going to say what game yet, but that's coming as well. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I had my fingers crossed for a reason, because I was going to want to remind myself to share something, and now I've forgotten. Lock and Load Tactical. Obviously, the Kickstarter is done for that, and they raised 140K, which is pretty impressive. I'm excited about that new World at War 85 module coming. And then the Napoleonic stuff. I told you about the Lock and Load Tactical pre-pub I'm going to get access to. And then the World at War Naval. Yeah, so I'm excited about that too, because if they can take that concept for World at War and apply that to shipping and naval conflicts, that might be something to replace that fleet series that is allegedly being remade at some point in the near future. So that would be pretty cool to see that happen. All right, let me see, what else was I going to mention here that was worthwhile? Oh, here's a hint. If you are going to buy Lock and Load tactical lock and load publishing games, and you see them on Kickstarter, you need to make sure you order in the Game Found or Kickstarter module, right? When the campaign's actually running. Late pledging will not give you access to all of the expansion stuff. Now, you can like that or not like that, but it drives people to make a decision one way or the other, right? You're in or you're not, right? And the reason why I mention that is because one of the things that David shared with me when we had this little chat today was that, they're not making, which I thought they would, but they're not making, say, let's say they get 1,000 orders. Well, they're only making 11 or 12 or 1,300 units. So there'll only be 100 or 200 units extra to purchase, and not all of those anything that's not pledged in the fundraise, you're not getting all the extras. So that's something to keep in mind. And it also means that they're going to go out of print pretty quickly. So if a Game Found project runs for 30 days, you've got lots of time to work out, is it something you can budget for? Do you want all the extras, bits and pieces, and do you want all the stretch goals? So you're going to make that pledge then and there pretty much. And if you don't, then you're going to be buying on the secondary market. And I'm mentioning that mainly because I know a lot of people got pretty frustrated with Thin Red Line games who only do small runs as well. And those games are now, double their retail price on the secondary market if you want them. I saw someone sell a copy of the first edition of Deadly Northern Lights for $400 the other day. It's kind of expensive. Okay, let's see what's going on in the comments. You guys are just having a fine old chat here. Well, if it isn't Jester, there he is, Mr. Baseball himself. Did you actually play many war games, Jester? I know you talk about them a lot, and I know you do play some, but I don't know what you actually like that much. Antietam Visitor Center is being renovated. Well, that's good to know, because I won't waste my time trying to go there. I will just try and get a guided tour then. Let's see who else is. Here it is. It's not Bin Din. It's District Commander. I ain't that one, Mike. It's something else. I had a copy of it. It's a folio game. I think it came from One Small Step at some point, but I don't believe it's that one. It's an area movement game, not District Commander, I don't think. Maybe. I don't know. Antietam is just down the road from the wall. Andrew, so I've had a couple of people offer for me to come and play games or have a beer or a cup of coffee, and I would love to do that. But the wife drew the line, given that I thought it was a trap, because when we started planning this trip to go out, we're doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday out of the academy. I think we're going to the football game as well, so I think that'll be kind of cool. Where she said, "Oh, well, we could go a couple of days early, and we could go see some battlefields." And I went, "Why would you want to go to see battlefields?" But she's trying to be sweet, and so we're going to go do this battlefield thing. And then I said, "Well, there's a bunch of guys that play war games up around there, and there's a guy that's written a blog post for me. Was writing a blog post for me. I'd love to catch up with him and see him again. I met him in Dallas." She's like, "Yeah, that's not happening." But Andrew, if you happen to be in Hagerstown on the 7th, afternoon of the 7th, or the day of the 8th, maybe we could bump into each other at one of the breweries. I'm intending on having lunch at one of the breweries there. I think it's called the Antietam Brewery. Let's see. Blood and Fury is going to be awesome. Craig, I'm super excited about that. And then let's see, Mr. Curtis, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. I've not seen you for a long time. I have not. I have not done a live stream, I don't think, in quite a while. So Harrisonburg, I wonder where that is. Well, these guys, looks like these guys have got a little lunch, getting a little lunch date going. Okay, well, that's cool. What? Wow. That's crazy. See? So my point about this GoFundMe, Game Found, Kickstarter stuff is, and that reminds me, I know what I was going to say now. I have my fingers crossed. You kind of got to get in when you have the opportunity to get in, right? It's tough. So if you can do it, do it. If you can't, then it sucks to be you, and you need to wait for the secondary market, early on the secondary market. Or if I ever get extra copies of stuff, I will be doing giveaways on a lot of these things going forward. So what I was going to say earlier on is that I found out from David mentioned that Kickstarter had declined to let him put that Bitter Harvest game, which was called Heroes of the Road to Stalingrad or something initially, and then it changed to Heroes of the Bitter Harvest. Well, one of the reasons for the change apparently was because of the pushback from Kickstarter. They unionized a year or so ago, and that part of their deal is that it gave the employees the right to object to offensive things in their fundraisers. So when things were put up for fundraise, I guess there's some sort of freaking committee that can look at all the stuff that's being they're doing fundraising for, and yay or nay them. And so the Nazi symbolism and imagery on the cover got the big ixnay. That's the feedback that David received from them. Now that was indirect, not direct company policy, but that's what's going on over there. So that's why they moved to GameFound, which is interesting. All right, let's see. Commentary here. I may be late. Oh yeah, John. I have not mentioned that. So I played the Quatre Bras battle, and I previously played Hexasim's Quatre Bras, and I had some issues with that, just in terms of the timing of reinforcements and bits and pieces. Nothing terribly bad. I think OSG's rulebook has been cleaned up and tightened up, and is a lot better than it was. The maps are always fabulous. The counters are always fabulous. The combat system really hasn't changed that much since the 70s. And I don't believe that it accurately represents Napoleonic combat. So I'll say that. I think if you're going to play those OSG library of Napoleonic battles, you need to just kind of accept them for what they are, and it gives you some choices to make, because you can do the approach to battle. It's not just set piece battles. I enjoyed it. The French romped all over the coalition for whatever reason. I don't know. I just don't like the CRT. I don't like the lack of combined arms stuff. It doesn't really work for me. But I bought 2 modules. I'm going to play them a bit. I know there's some alternative rules out there, so maybe I'll try those out. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if that's an answer. I want to like it more than I do. It's the third time I've played that series, and sort of come away thinking, yeah. So there's that. Yeah, exactly, Craig. Right. There is always a trap. All right, let's see. Well, I think she's interested. I think she's not a big shopper, but I think she's taking more interest in the history of the United States. We've been digging into the history of the area that we've moved out to, particularly the Apache nations and their issues with the Spaniards and then the white settlers and all that sort of stuff. This place we live at is called Apache Farms. we might end up keeping that name. I don't know. It's got a street address, but it's called Apache Farms. And so that kind of got her interested in trying to learn more about the roots of this area and sort of the Texas region and this sort of the Bandera Pass and the Guadalupe River and all that sort of stuff, and how migratory the tribes were and things. So it's pretty interesting. So she's so the fact that we're going to see some battlefields, we'll try and make the most out of that and keep her excited. Hey, Richard, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you guys for ages. I need to do more live streams, don't I? It's just hard to find the time because I should be rolling dice, right? Yeah, John, thank you. They are that video. I hadn't shared that video, so that was from 2, 3, 4, maybe more weeks ago. I can wear clothes again, so that's good. I'm much better and recovered. Thank you very much. That was particularly uncomfortable. We'll move on. Yeah, there you go. Right on. Well, if Kelly drives, then I can, like maybe I can have a cocktail and then we can, have the live stream going in the ear, the audio. I'm going to get one of those. I've got the audio tour of Antietam already lined up. So that might be fun. I'm probably not allowed to do that drinking and driving thing, but out here in West Texas, it happens a fair bit. Let's see. Very nice, Mike. That's cool. All right. So, Mikhail, good to see you. All right. So let's do this. Let's have a look at this. Don't panic, dog. It's okay. So this Modern War magazine, number 31, had Combat Veteran in it, and it had Outpost Keating, Cop Keating, as one of the battles. And I was very curious about that because I read Red Platoon twice, actually. It's such a gripping book. And I think I watched it. There was a movie about it as well. I watched that as well. And it's a interesting system because it's literally man on man. So each American soldier is an individual person, and they actually have the historical names and all that sort of good stuff. It's pretty interesting. And then the Taliban have these are the U.S. forces here. Taliban down here. Taliban are 2, 3, or 4 chaps, and that should be interesting to play. Now, I did a read. I'll show you the map. I did a read of the rules. This is quite a nice map because it's very heavyweight paper. It's a little shiny, but pretty heavyweight paper, and it's just a half map size. Let's see if I can. Is it? Yes, half map size. So I'm going to hold this up and see if you can see it. Firefight at Combat Outpost Keating. So here's the map. So true to scale, 40 meters a hex. Looks a little different to me than the maps I saw in Red Platoon, but we'll go with it, right? I get it. And it also doesn't have the second outpost that was up the hill. So it's just the actual Cop Keating action, which I get given the amount of space we have to work with. The other battle that's in here is a Vietnam rice paddy firefight at Rice Paddy Angle, and I thought this would be interesting as well. Not as keen or excited about it, but we're gonna look at it and we'll obviously play it because that's why I bought the damn thing. It took me a while to find this. These magazine games have gone up $10 each. And the stuff that's already printed has also been increased $10, which kind of pisses me off because they were $31 or something like that. Now they're either 42 or 48 or something like that. Nearly $50 for a magazine game with the thing counts. So I get it for the new stuff. If prices have gone up, charge $49, that's fine. But you printed these with the expectation you're going to sell them at $31 or $33 a pop, and now you've increased them all and they're already printed. So you just make an extra $10 margin, which is good for you, but I ain't paying. So I found this on sale for $18. By the way, I want to give those guys a shout out. Incredibly difficult company to do business with, just because you've got to send an email to order. It's like old school. I think he still takes faxes. But Fine Games is the name of the company, and it's Michael Dean is his name, and it's the Fine Games for Players and Collectors. The website is finegames.com. They have a sale on at the moment of various items. No affiliation. I just bought some crap. I also bought this minis set of rules. Huge mistakes, terrible set of rules. It's called Black Ops. It's by Guy Bowers. He's never designed a game before, and it shows. And it's just classic minis rules where there are just charts on every page. So you got to go through and I'm going to scan this and then cut and paste all this bullshit and put it all into a couple of pages and then work and see if it actually works. But I shouldn't have done that. Thank goodness it was only $4 or $8 or something like that. Now, the magazine. So I want to talk about the rules for the game. This game was pretty interesting. You basically, you're always considered to be upright, and walking is your standard mode. And then you can choose to run, which will allow you to double your movement rate. Sounds fair enough. Or you can be sprinting, which the aim of sprinting is to reduce your ability to get hit, right? So I thought that was cool, right? You can also crawl, but you lose a lot of things. Lose a lot of capabilities if you're crawling. So with that concept of movement and each counter being an individual, you can move and then you can shoot, right? And so the shooting side of things is pretty interesting. It's just a bucket of dice deal. So it's literally, it's a little net. If I'm going to fire at you, I've got a firepower of 4. I get 4d6, and I roll them. And but you're going to get a defensive bonus because I'm shooting at you. You might be sprinting, so we might get minus 2 dice for that. I don't know what the amount is. It's in here. Let's just say it's 2 or 4. Actually, sprinting I think is actually more than that, but nevertheless. And then the terrain is going to have an impact and all this sort of stuff. So you can actually you can select the sprinting mode and not move. So I can say, I'm sprinting at the beginning of my turn, and that's going to give you a defensive benefit, even though you're not going to move from one hex to another. So it's just a construct within the hex that you're dodging from, point to point or cover to cover, as the case may be. So I think that is pretty interesting. And there's little leadership bonuses and benefits. I don't know if you saw the counters. They're pretty hard to see probably. And I think they're all reversed on this camera when I show it to you. Let me see if I can find the guys. Yeah, so all these dudes here with the white dots, they have leadership bonuses. And you can see there's quite a few for the American forces there. And there are heroes that have capabilities. And when you get wounded, you're pretty much incapacitated, but you can be picked up by a guy and he can try and carry you back to the medical station, or there's medics, and medics can come and try and heal you, so you can heal a wound. So that was interesting. And if they fail, bad things happen. The number on the right, that these counters are going to pop out if I'm not careful. That number there is your kind of morale, elan number, and you're rolling against that to stand upright or recover from a wound, or the medic will try and heal you. He's got to roll against that number, right? So that's all kind of cool. Oh, hey, Mitch. Okay, so I'm going to get distracted here by Mitch's comment and this one. Thank you. I'll take a look at it. I'll dig around on BGG and try and find it. Literally first pull, right? Just got it yesterday or the day before. And I sat down, read the rules through, and I was like, yeah, geez, here we go. And that's just a minis thing. I don't know what it is. It's here's 4,000 pictures of really cool shit and a bunch of tables. And by the way, we're just going to sprinkle some rules around, and then you'll all have fun. And don't worry about scale. You can just manage it and change it to be whatever you want. I need structure, people. I need you to tell me what the size of the fucking guy is and how big and how far he can move. So anyway, so this game, I'm kind of curious about how this is going to play. There's some special rules for each scenario. There's one Vietnam one in here, as I mentioned, that's a, like a paddy fight, right? In the rice paddy, which looks pretty darn interesting. There's special weapons there. You may have seen those there. There's M203s, 249s. There's some Humvees that are set in place. Mark 48 smoke. You can call in artillery fire. It's interesting that in the actual battle, Red Platoon, that I read about in Red Platoon and in the Goofy movie, was that there was, well, actually it wasn't Goofy. It was actually a pretty good movie. They didn't get a lot of support until right near the very end. Their mortar pit got attacked at the outset. A lot of the guys got injured there, and then the equipment got damaged, and they all had to hide out the bunker, and dudes got getting fingers shot off, and all sorts of bad things happening. So they really had it in. There were 500 Taliban attacking a swag of dudes, and they really got stuck into it. So terrible higher management and leadership, and poor choice of a place to have a base, and all the rest of it, all the classic things we would expect to be that the American army would have learnt by now in its last 20 plus years of combat and fighting, and they managed to do everything wrong for those poor chaps. So let's see what else we got going on here. I have no idea what you're talking about, Fango. Sorry. I am not talking about Iron Tide. Mr. Longshore, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, the book is great. Red Platoon. I know what I'd rather be watching, man. I'm just all I'm saying. So I'm going to leave that one alone. And yeah, look, I'm good, man. That video was recorded a couple of weeks ago, and after 4 weeks, I'm all better. Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't read The Outpost yet, but I'm tempted to get that. I might try and find it on Kindle. All right, so let's see what else we got. Okay, I said I was going to do a giveaway, right? And how long have we been doing this? Is it really an hour and 40 minutes already? Wow. Okay, let's get this underway. So let's do this. So Ya Magazine with this Nagoro doohickey. Let's have, if you're watching now, there's 36 of you, I think. So if you're watching now, put a comment in the actual video section, I guess, the video comment section, not in the live commentary. For the YouTubers and Twitch guys, well, sucks to be you. I'm not checking over there. You need to come over to YouTube and we'll do it. We'll give this away. I'll do that today. So all the folks that say, I'm in, or dibs or whatever, if I get 5 or 10 of you, I'll do it, right? And we'll give it away. Otherwise, I'm going to save it for another time because I want to make it worthwhile. I want a bunch of people to try and have a chance to win. I would prefer, if you're a European viewer, you split the cost with me to ship this sucker. I will try and send it media mail and protect it and do it inexpensively. But if I can't, you're up for half. Otherwise, I will pay the shipping on this. Okay. Stalingrad 42 expansion. I've got an extra one of those. So I will put that up for, I'm going to put a blog post out for that. So go visit the blog. And if you're not subscribing to the blog, that would be cool if you would subscribe to the blog. Just because that, eventually I'm probably going to get sick of being on Facebook and posting stuff there, and Twitter and everywhere else. It's a pain in the ass to do all that. I would love to just share my content on the blog and YouTube and have you guys be able to find it, versus me having to babysit people to say, hey, look at my stuff, because I don't really do that. So I'll put a post out on the blog for Stalingrad 42 expansion. I will do a drawing tomorrow sometime for it. All you need to do is make a comment on the blog post that you're in, and I will need you can get my email address to I will find out who you are when you win, and you'll need to be check back in to see if you won there, and I'll probably put a video up. I guess I'm really making this up on the fly. I'm probably making it harder than it needs to be. I'll do a blog post. Express your interest in winning. I'll do the drawing. I'll work out how to get connected with you by email, and I will ship the game to you. And the same goes for this. This up here, I want to comment on YouTube. And look, here you are all posting on the live chat. So, because I don't know that I'm going to be able to see the live chat later. I think I can, but I will. Fine. Go ahead. Say you're in here. We'll do it, and I'll do a drawing once we get done with this this thing here. Yes, thank you, X6 Funds X. You are correct. I'm a dumbass. That is true. So if you're interested in winning this magazine game, yarn number 15, looks like this. A bunch of cool articles in here, actually, and some nice reviews. Let me know in the comments now, and I will collect your information, and we'll go from there. And I'm sorry for being a dumbass. I actually have had chickenpox, Venko. And he's in. John's got it all squared away. Mike's in. All right, you guys are, idiot error. Yeah, thanks, Mitch. It's all good. I'll see you in a few, like 6 weeks or something, and we'll have a conversation. All right. 1, 2. Yeah, I'll work it out. I'll go back through the comments, and I'm not going to do the drawing right now because it's a pain in the ass to try and pull stuff up. I'm on this little tablet thing, and I don't have the keyboard attached, so I can't mess around with things, and that would be odd. All right. Thank you for watching. That was cool of you guys all to turn up, sort of random Friday afternoon thing, catching up. I'm hoping to get through a lot of these games through the balance of the year, and I'm looking forward to sharing some cool new content with you on games that I haven't played before, and we'll see how they all go. Hopefully we'll some of the games that we're revisiting that we have not had a positive experience with in the past will be enjoyable. All right, put your content, your names in on this little live stream thing, and you're in the running, and we'll go for it from there. Everybody else, look for the blog post for Stalingrad 42 expansion for free, and we'll talk to you soon. All the best. All right, take care, folks. Go roll them dice.